Namaskar. Now the Kanedda Ke Khotestanis want to disrupt two more events that I'm told that Consulate of India wants to hold to help people with their proof of life certificates. Well, the interesting thing here, I'll come to the interesting part in a little bit. The problem that I see is that the thing that if you abbreviate this and call it by its initials and it resonates with something else, that's not my fault. The problem is that the very events that these KKK want to interrupt are those that are going to help the Sikh community. So is this movement a representative of the Sikhs? Do you think so? Well, you have to answer this question. You have to ask this question yourself. What is mind-boggling is that the local city police, I'm told, is not very willing to enforce the security and they want to get paid for it. Well, last I checked, the rates, income tax rate, personal income tax rate in Canada compared to other developed countries is perhaps one of the highest. The median federal is 26%, and the median state, I'm talking about the Ontario state, is 11%. Total is about 37%. In other words, if you make $1, 37 cents goes to taxes. Well, this is not all. I am told that you cannot deduct your home insurance, home interest payments as part of standard deductions, which means that you're paying through the nose. So if one of the biggest possible deductions in income tax are taken away, a lot of money is being paid by the residents of Canada for the joy of living in Canada. And when you compare this with what the police is saying, that if you want protection, you need to pay for it, something is not connecting. Now, these are the two temples. This is the other interesting part. The two temples where this is going to happen. The first one is Triveni Mandir. You know what? Triveni Mandir is not, if you really want to look at the technicality of it, the Triveni Mandir is actually run by Caribbeans of Hindu descent. Caribbeans who probably moved to the Caribbean countries in the 1840s. I've told you this many times, how the British brought them to work in the sugar plantations in the 1840s. Mostly from Bihar and I think parts of Uttar Pradesh. That's where they came from. Kalicharan, right? And so on and so forth. So this is a temple which basically is giving out some of its halls to the consulate for them to come conduct this camp where people can come and renew their proof of life certificates. But KKK doesn't want it. Not only that, the second temple, that one is called Bali temple, and this one is maintained by Bangladeshi Hindus. Even there, they don't want the Indian consulate to go and help out with proof of life certificate. Who comes for proof of life certificates? 90% are people of Sikh origin, whether it is Punjab or Delhi or wherever. They are the ones who have retired in Canada, or I shouldn't say Canada, Kanadda, and they need proof of life so that their pensions, their payments can continue. So why is the KKK trying to do this? Sorry, this is a KKK of Canada with a K, not the one in the United States. Why are they doing this? Well, what they want to do is disrupt anything constructive that the Indian government might take up, so that later, when people's memory has erased or faded a little bit, they can go back and blame the very government which was trying to help the Sikhs with the proof of life certificates. Everybody is banking on public memory being short, and that come election time, they can bluff their way through and somehow win the electorate. I have done some programs where I've told you about how this 𝙒𝙤𝙤𝙦 has captured many of the constituencies where there used to be Sikh candidates, moderate Sikhs, and there are a few left in the Canadian Parliament, but you can count them on your fingers and they are under tremendous amount of pressure. How the Canadian government looks at it is something that has to be seen. Now, this one is a very interesting thing. Here, you are not going to find Indian flags. You may see Bhagwa flags, but you are not going to see Indian flags. So, what is then the average Kanadda voter going to think? Because there was a new story that was spun, and I think one of the politicians who actually supported the Hindus cause fell for it. He said that what was the need for displaying Indian flags? Could they not have displayed Canada flags? Fair enough. Did you ask the same question of the KKK? Why did you not ask them that question? See, you have to call it both ways. That is the hallmark of a good politician. A good politician will not agree with everything you want him to do. He will disagree with you, and he will tell you why he disagrees with you. That's why you will respect politicians, because they say, hey, I know he is not supporting my cause, but he has a good reason why he is not supporting it. So average Canadians have to think long and hard. Who is after this targeting of Hindus of Canada? They are the most law-abiding citizens by far in any country that they immigrate to. And they pay perhaps one of the highest tax rates of any country that they have immigrated to. The fewest number of Indian immigrants you will find in the jails. The KKK is an exception, of course, because they don't want to call themselves Indians anyway. So there you go. They are yours. They are KKK of Canada with a K. So you need to figure out how you can untangle this mess. This is all your policies. India didn't do it. And even the Niger episode, you know now that it is not India's handiwork. It's somebody else's handiwork, trying to pass it off as if it is India's handiwork. You know the truth, including Justin Trudeau. So what is it that you're going to do? Now, I can tell you, this particular episode, I'm sure this is going to raise the shackles of many of the Hindu Canadians who are watching this thing, saying, what the hell are we doing? Why should we support X party or Y party when they cannot clearly differentiate between two-bit thugs, that's a TTT, or TBT, sorry, two-bit thugs, from average Joe? So all, these things point to the fact that there is a serious law and order problem, and that Canada is perhaps doing the bidding of the United States. I don't know, but the United States is, pulling back all its strings now. So what are you going to do? This is going to be a problem, and this is a genie that you have taken out of the bottle. How are you going to put the genie back in the bottle? That's the question that the Canadian administration had to address itself to. And I'm not going to spare any words here. Do you know, viewers, that there is active recruitment of police officers, government officers that takes place in Gurudwaras across Canada? The question that I would like to ask the recruiters of the government of Canada is, do you give the same kind of facilities and go and actively recruit from temples, Hindu temples? Can I hear something? Am I hearing a no? I don't know. I'm a bit sarcastic today because sarcasm is something that an average Canadian understands quite well. See, this is a simple law and order problem. You have bred some real extreme mindsets, and this is something that happened under your watch. The next generation of KKK, which is born and brought up in Kanadda, is full of hatred for Hindus, and this is basically the parents' fault. This was all being taught in some select places of worship. What were you doing? So something has horribly gone wrong in Canada, and you need to understand where you went wrong, and you need to fix it fast, because Uncle Trump is not in a mood to listen anymore. Furthermore, he doesn't like Trudeau very much. It's a different matter that he may not support Hindus of Canada, but certainly you are up against it, the Canadian government. We'll see how this plays out. Okay, so we have some people who are here and who are essentially spewing venom, which means my observations are making a difference in the lives of Hindu Canadians. And not only that, perhaps even many Sikhs who I consider them as Veer Hindus, And you may agree with me, you may disagree with me. Many of them are suffering in silence. If they raise their voice, they get beaten up even worse than Hindus. So please understand, there are some constraints. You saw in Delhi how the Sikhs in Delhi rose up against all this stuff. That was something else that happened. It's on social media. You guys can get a link. And so in fact, I'll tell you what, I'll put the link in the description section, so you can go look at it. Just give me 5 minutes after I wrap up this. I'll put the links for that also. So that's all I have. And there are no questions today. They're just people who are spewing venom at me. That's fine. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Thanks once again for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.